Draupadi Murmu bio. The entire country is all stunned after the announcement of the presidential candidate by the NDA. The Bharatiya Janata Party-led alliance named Draupadi Murmu as their choice for the president. The 14th President of India, Ram Nath Kovind, will be soon completing his term in 2022. For the 2022 presidential election, the opposition has named Yashwant Sinha as their choice for the next president, while NDA has displayed a very smart political move by naming Draupadi Murmu for the candidature. This has definitely made the case for the alliance stronger for the upcoming elections. Murmu is a woman tribal leader from Odisha, and lastly, in 2021, she held the office of 9th Governor of Jharkhand. To read everything about the personal and political life of Draupadi Murmu, head to the subsequent article. Draupadi Murmu latest news. On the 21st of June 2022, the Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi envisaged a compassionate Indian society as NDA elected SMT Draupadi Murmu for the candidate for the upcoming presidential elections in 2022. It is a very well contemplated political move, as she might head on to be the very first tribal woman president for India. Murmu belongs to the Badaposi village of the Mayurbhanj district of Odisha. Being a tribal woman, she has always worked keenly for her community, and this has brought much fame to her. She also served the office of the Governor of Jharkhand and was a member of the Odisha Legislative Assembly. Draupadi has always been a part of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and now she is the official nominee of the National Democratic Alliance for the forthcoming 2022 presidential elections. NDA decided this during the BJP's Parliamentary Board meeting on Tuesday. Polls will be held on the 18th of July 2022. It will be very interesting to see if Murmu stands strongly against the former Union Minister Yashwant Sinha and further becomes the first tribal president of India and the second female one. Murmu was born on the 20th of June 1958 and she is currently 64 years old. She was born in a family of village headmen who worked under the Panchayati Raj system. Her father Biranchi Narayan Tudu was a resident of the Badaposi village of the Mayurbhanj district. Being a tribal woman, her life was always difficult and filled with hardships. She not only faced societal oppression but also was struck with a series of misfortune and personal losses. She started working as a teacher before she entered into state politics. In 1997, Draupadi Murmu joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. She became the first woman governor of Jharkhand. Additionally, she was the first female tribal leader in such a prestigious position in India. Belonging to a very remote area from Odisha, it was surprising as well as very delightful for her that National Democratic Alliance elected her as their presidential candidate for the upcoming elections. Election of Murmu for the presidential elections 2022. The National Democratic Alliance is led by the present Central Government Party, BJP. On the 21st of June 2022, they decided to nominate the tribal leader Draupadi Murmu as the presidential candidate. The entire country is presently awestruck by this nomination of the party. It seems as if they put forward a very promising candidature by nominating her. Selecting a tribal woman for the post of the President of India was not only a calculated decision by the party, but it was also a very convincing one. The Bharatiya Janata Party chief J.P. Nadda made the announcement at a press conference. SMT Draupadi Murmu ji has devoted her life to serving society and empowering the poor, downtrodden as well as the marginalized. She has rich administrative experience and had an outstanding gubernatorial tenure. I am confident she will be a great president of our nation. Has a higher chance of winning the presidential elections in 2022. Her case stands very strong against the former Union Minister Yashwant Sinha, whom the opposition elected. The tribal background adds to the preference that she will receive during the elections. Nomination suits the narrative of NDA, who previously selected Ram Nath Kovind in 2017 for their nomination. He too belonged to a very small community and was a farmer's son. He became the second Dalit president in India. They expect that Murmu will continue the trend that the alliance is trying to create. She might win the elections head-on and become the second woman president in India and also the very first tribal president. Draupadi Murmu entered politics in 1997 as the councillor of Rairingpur Nagar Panchayat. She was also the vice president of the Scheduled Tribes Morcha of the Bharatiya Janata Party. When the Biju Janata Dal coalesced with the Bharatiya Janata Party in Odisha, she was the Commerce and Transport Minister of the state. Later, she was the Minister for the Fisheries and Animal Resources Development Department, PM of India, Narendra Modi. Murmu made her way through Indian politics and became the first female tribal leader as she was the first woman governor of Jharkhand in 2015. She was also honored with the Nikanta Award for being the best MLA. Odisha's Legislative Assembly honored her for her incredible work in state politics. In 2022, the National Democratic Alliance picked her as their nominee for the upcoming presidential elections 2022. If Murmu wins, she will become the very first tribal president of India. Of Murmu. The personal life of Draupadi Murmu was always filled with hardships. While she was born to a village headman, she did have to go through the social oppression that her tribal caste brought to her. She belonged to a remote area and struggled her way into society. Her marriage also brought her major emotional setbacks. It was very tragic when she lost her husband Shama Charan Murmu, followed by the death of her two sons. It was her diligence and compassion for society that she continued on despite all the tragedies she faced in her personal life. Indian Presidential Elections 2022. Yashwant Sinha is a veteran and highly experienced politician. He was also the Finance Minister and Minister of External Affairs for India. He has been named as the presidential candidate for the 2022 elections by the opposition. Draupadi Murmu is currently standing against him for the same. Both of them presently have a very strong candidature. However, seems that NDA might have the upper hand this time as well. The backdrop of Murmu's life and her humble image in Indian politics would definitely benefit them. However, Yashwant Sinha also knows his way as he was an ex-IAS officer and is a very renowned politician. It will be exciting to see who would be the next and the 15th President of India.